wellness and your overall fitness goals. I'm excited today to share with you our new assortment of walking pads and treadmills. We tend to sell through our treadmills really fast when we bring out new options, and this is the first time we've brought out the walking pads that you can use from the convenience of your office space using the high-low power desk sit stand. And so I'm going to kind of go through the differences in the 5 treadmills that we've got out on the market now. All of these treadmills you'll find on Amazon. There are extra coupons, discount codes provided on Amazon based on specials that they're running. So I'll give you kind of the pricing as we happen to see it available now, but the price is always fluctuating, changing, and Amazon kind of throws in their own deals, but these are not available on the Life Pro website. These are very specific to the Amazon website. When you get your product, we are going to provide you with our information on how to register your warranty. And so if you're not familiar with how to use the QR codes, you're going to take your phone, if you have a smartphone, Android or iPhone, turn on your camera, and you're going to hold your camera up to this QR box or to this picture here, and you'll see a little website or a little yellow link that pops up. You're going to tap that link or select it, and then an extra website will come up that you can register your information. So make sure that you do that. We like to make sure that you have your warranty registered. If you don't register the warranty and you have something go wrong with it, don't worry. We're still gonna try and take care of you. But if it's registered, it happens a little bit faster. As well as if you have any trouble whatsoever and you need to contact customer service, the information is here on this piece of paper, 800-563-6604. You can email us, support@lifeprofitness.com. We've got individuals who are taking calls pretty much every day of the week, just depends on the time of the day, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time through the weekdays, and on weekends, it's 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, but if you have anything that goes wrong, don't post bad reviews. Let us help take care of you first, because all of our Life Pro products have a lifetime warranty on them. And we're going to make sure that you're taken care of, because we want you to love the product. We want you to actually use it, take it out of the box. So that comes with all of our treadmills. And then we've included some extra little nuggets of information so that you don't have to have somebody motivating you. It's just kind of our extra little toss in for a new year, a new you. And so this is about getting ready for your first 5K. So whether you're using these walking pads or treadmills for office space or for work, just to stay moving while you're working, to keeping that stress down, right? Or whether you're doing couch to 5K work, or you're just trying to do something to stay active. We have this awesome little card that tells you kind of strategies about how to accomplish your goals, how to set reliable goals for yourself without over training yourself or creating things that are far out of reach. And then we also have this other little piece that's in here that talks about how you can get fit while working and the different levels of intensity, from being a beginner, intermediate, or an advanced user on our walking pads, which speed is ideal. So I know we're going to have all these questions pop up on our social media feed and our VIP group with Facebook. By the way, if you're not part of that group, make sure you go right over there after we're done here and join the VIP Facebook group, because there's so much information there for free. But for beginners, we're going to work more on just walking speed of 1.0 to 3.0 max. Okay. If we're working intermediate, we're going to be working more at a 1.5 to a 3.5 speed, and advanced intervals are going to go all the way up to that 3.6. Again, using the walking pad while you work. Love the concept. And I bought me a high-low desk so I could actually demonstrate that to you. We also have a 24-day challenge card on here. So if you're one of those who your brain goes bananas when you check off the box or you put stickers wherever you complete it, you're never too old for sticker therapy, right? So make sure that you enjoy this 5K calendar check off box. And it's just, like I said, it's 24 days of step-to-step success for 5K with adventures. So some of it is just a short mile walk, 20-minute walk, 1 mile run, 3.5 mile run, working all the way up to that, to that event, but also incorporating recovery sessions. And then with all of our treadmills with Life Pro, we have Bluetooth function available, with the exception of one of our new ones. One of our new ones is not compatible with Bluetooth, but I'll talk about that here in just a second. But here is the QR code in order to access that app for free, how to set it up on your phone, and how to utilize specific step-by-step instructions so that we don't waste time showing that to those of you who already have other biometrics that you're using with apps. So that's a little bit of what comes in. I'm kind of doing some housekeeping ahead of time. All of these treadmills come with the maintenance toolkit in order to keep your belts lubricated. That can be on a week-to-week basis or as you see needed. You can adjust the belts. We have a video on YouTube about how to adjust the belt if it starts going more to the side instead of running straight through. It starts to shift one side to the other. We provide the tools in each one of these packages so that you can adjust the belt on your treadmill, you can lubricate, you can service your treadmill. And when you run out of all this good stuff, this is just basic silicone. You can buy this at your local convenience store, Walmart, Target, Meijer, whatever you might have in your neck of the woods. But it's just a basic silicone lubricant that keeps the belt fluidly flowing, if you will. We have a remote that has the ability. Most of the walking pads, you don't want to have to bend down in order to push the speed up when you're working at your desk. Don't want to bonk your noggin, right? So most of them all have a remote. And funny enough, this one remote, as I start operating, you'll actually see all the treadmills actually running together because this one remote operates 3 of the 5. So it was it's universal remote. We like those. So we've got five treadmills that we're going to talk about today. Walking pad, mainly designed in order to put underneath of a high-low power desk. So if you're wanting to work from a standing position, slowly walking and getting adjusted, keeping circulation in the legs, we're going to talk about how to get used to doing that with one of the walking pads. And then we've got 2 walking pads that are essentially the same. The only difference between the FlexiFit and the FlexiFit Plus is one has the arm rail up top that you can actually put your phone. It's got a little phone adapter there. But as far as the features, they're very, very similar. And then on the opposite side of the room, we actually have your cardio treadmills, where if you're wanting to have a treadmill at home, takes up very little space, folds flat, slides under the bed. Every time that we've ever had a treadmill come out with Life Pro, they sell it very fast. So those treadmills are now available on Amazon by big request from so many of our other past customers. And the Pacer Mini has been one of our most popular models that we've had out. And so we've got 2 new ones that are very similar but have some different features. They're all adjustable. Some of them have hand cranks that are adjustable. Some have inclines that you can adjust manually. So a lot of great features. But I'm going to kind of take you on a walk today through each one of these treadmills and walking pads, the differences, and how it might benefit any one of you. So if you have questions specific to what you're hearing, or if there's something that I can clarify as you're listening in, please comment in the comment section, as I can see some of those comments coming through. And as I see them pop up, I'll definitely address some of those. We're going to start with just how to get used to using a high-low desk with a walking pad. And the one I'm going to start with is the Timber Trek. This is a really, really neat treadmill in that it looks more like a wooden treadmill. I'm actually going to unplug it and bring it. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to bring you to it. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring you to it. It's kind of hard when we're making adjustments and trying to make sure that you can see all this stuff. But I'm going to bring you to the treadmill. So as you can see, it has more of a wood feature look to it. Very user-friendly as far as how the different features are on it. But it has more of a wood grain look, and it actually is nice and smooth and seamless. We have 3 different points on top of that are metric reading, and it's with a glare. There you go. So all of our walking pads have those metrics on there. So it's going to show you how many calories, the time, and the miles per hour for speed. Okay. And so I'm going to sit that to the side there so you can actually see this in motion. You don't get to see me, you get to see it. So if I push play, so just push play, and hopefully you can see that minus the glare. There we go. And so if we push the up button, you can see how that treadmill is moving a little bit at a time. And we go all the way up to 3.8 is our max. Now, what I don't want you to get too comfortable with is that calorie burn feature, because those calorie burn features are not always consistent with how much you are actually burning. So don't lose sleep over whether you're burning enough or not. So that is how that works. And then when you see it from the side, and you see it moving from the side, that is your timber truck. That's max speed. Simple remote. We push the down button in order to turn it down. So there's 2 miles an hour. So pretty quick. You can push one at a time, or you can push down and hold and it'll go through fast. Now you're hearing lots of beeps because this one remote is working all of the treadmills. So here are the FlexiFit and the FlexiFit Plus. The size of these are exactly the same, as you can see. If I'm using the same remote for these, pushing the increase button on the far one, if I push the play button, this one just has time that you see featured on the top. And then when I go to push the up button, the metric changes over. So these two don't have 3 metrics visually. They'll switch out as you are using your remote. And make sure you don't lose your remote, because that's how you access the speed feature. But yeah, you're going to hear potentially. So now we're running at 3.8 on all of our treadmills, all at the same time right now. That's our max speed. You're going to see that the track length is exactly the same. The only difference between the FlexiFit and the FlexiFit Plus is the FlexiFit Plus has that arm rail. It has the arm rail that you can use with a phone holder, okay? And so that you can have your phone at your fingertips for music or whatever you decide to do. But again, those are our FlexiFit walking pads. And I'll show you, there's your stop button. And they're both going to stop all at the same time, because that's how the remote works universally for all of our walking pads right now. So it's kind of convenient. Okay, so there's those two. Now, I'm going to get into more of the features, the specific features, here in just a second, but I want to make sure and show you the main differences as you are seeing these other 2 units. These have the trays on them. So this actually folds up, folds down. This is very similar to our Pacer Mini, okay? So there's a lot of information here. We're just gonna set that there, trying to make sure that you can see all of this. We have hand controls here. We have pulse determiners, the pulse sensors here in the handrails. We have like an LED display here that has the metrics that scans through between speed, time, and calories. You have 12 preset programs that you can choose from based on what kind of a program you're wanting to work into. Me personally, I don't like to get on and go into manual mode. I like to get on and choose a program and allow it to challenge me so that I don't get too bored. So we're going to push the start button, and you're going to see it's going to give you a countdown so that you know when the belt starts to move. We're starting at 0.6 miles per hour is the default speed button, okay? And in order to use the speed up, we can push and hold, and it's going to speed up very, very quick, or you can do each tap is a little bit at a time, okay? It is going to scan through between the time, the calories that are burnt, and again, do not get caught up in calories burnt, because it's not going to be consistent with what actually works for you. If you're wearing a heart rate monitoring strap, it's going to be more realistic than what this is giving you. This is going to give you just a generalization, but we don't want you to get too comfortable with that being the final number when you're keeping track of calories in versus calories out, if that's your idea of weight management. So if we push and hold, it's got a max speed of 6.3 miles per hour. By the way, that's really fast. I think my normal walking pace is around 4.8 or 5.0 for moving really, really fast. So right now it's tracking calories. If you go into the mode button, you can, instead of it scanning through, you can push the mode button and you can be constant speed, and then you can change through. So that's how if you just want to see speed and you don't want to scan through, your mode button is going to be how you change that. So this is going to continue to keep track of your time. So if you're trying to keep track of your heart rate or your intervals over time, especially in a manual mode, you can do that. And then if you're obsessed about the calories, I wouldn't be, but that's going to share with you how many calories that you're burning as a generalization. When it comes to distance, it's keeping track of the distance that the belt has been running. So not how far you have walked or run, because that's all dependent on how much you're actually doing it. But it's going to keep track of how much distance the belt has moved at this speed right here. Okay, so it's just a generalization. But again, if you are wearing a tracking device that synchronizes up with a heart rate monitor or with your Apple Watch or your Garmin or whatever it is that you'd use, that's going to give you more realistic data if you're really dialed in and keeping track of things. It has the emergency stop, so if you don't want to stop or decelerate the speed control, you can just pull that and it's going to kick the belt immediately. So, but again, it will not work. You'll have an error code that comes up and it will not work until you put that back on. So make sure, if you don't want to wear the button around your shirt, you clip it on here in your shirt. If you don't want to wear that, you can just stick it there on the top, but you do have to have it in contact with, or the unit will not run. So your safety key has to be on. Now, we also have the locking key, so that if you do want to fold this down flat, this is how you're going to keep it flat when it's turned off, so that you can store it so it doesn't come unfolded on you. But it is it's a very, very nice setup. And this is what we call the Eco Stride. This is the Eco Stride treadmill. It does have manual incline. So the manual incline means that you are going to make adjustments to it down here at the bottom. Okay, down here at the bottom is how you adjust the incline, and we provide the tools to do that. Each one of these treadmills and walking pads comes with the breaker switch, so make sure that that is turned on. If you plug it in and it doesn't work and that's not on, that's your problem. If you don't use the unit for 3 minutes at a time, it automatically will turn itself off. It's on an auto save feature. So pretty cool stuff, right? But again, we've got all these great programs on here. I love the preset programs so that you can, not have to think and just take action, but you can program through. Program 1 is going to look more like a little bit of a high-low with some average along the way. The higher the dots, the higher the speed intensity. So make sure that you're erring to caution. If you're just a beginner, we're going to want to start more at that P1, P2, P3, or even the P12 would not be a bad one, and the P10. You're going to see lower level intervals with higher boosts. Those of you who are wanting to push doing speed interval training are going to choose the higher dot settings. Those are going to give you your greatest energy output, but you're going to push the program button in order to go through whichever one of these you want. You're going to push the start button, and then after you do that, you don't have to touch a thing. It just automatically changes over. You can use the mode button to lock in and see exactly what your speed is going to be. But there we go. But this is a preset, and so it is automatically adjusting itself. So once it's in its preset, you cannot choose increase or decrease, but you can kill the switch if you don't like it, and you can start over. So that's the fastest way to start it over. We go to push start. Now it's on. Now it's manual mode. And again, we just increase the speed by pushing down one button at a time or pushing and holding. When you push and hold, you're going to see a big increase. Okay. And again, so it's going to take you up to 6.8, no, 6.3. And 6.3 is pretty darn fast, my friends. So if you're doing 6.3, you are really training for running. And if you are a very tall individual, for what it's worth, if you are a very tall individual, this might be a little bit tricky for you because of how fast this thing is moving, okay? The stride belt is not very long if you are like over 5 foot. Here are your controls for changing positioning on where this lies from the standpoint of incline decline. Okay, so and then let me go to stop here. You can see how it's made on the bottom. So it has these little feet underneath in order to keep them stable and positioned on you so that you don't have to worry about things falling. It does have wheels so that you can relocate it from one place to another. Okay, so has the wheels here. You can't see them, but they're there. And like I said, it folds completely flat so that you can store it if you choose to. So that is the Eco Stride. We're going to get back to that here in just a second. Oh, the highest incline. Let me double check on that here shortly. Actually, I'll look that up here real quick for you. I might actually have that written out here because there's so much information to know. When we have 5 treadmills, it's a lot of information. So let me pull that up as I get these going again. Again, I'll demonstrate kind of how you use a walking pad in coordination with your desk, and I'll look up that incline decline feature so that you know at what level. And I'm going to move you closer so you can actually see a little bit more of me. And yes, there we go. So the manuals are really, really well laid out. When you get on your walking pad, and this one, interestingly enough, needs adjusted just a little bit to the left. So I might have to adjust that here in just a second. But when you get on, you can either stand on the wood rails or just start off to the side. You don't want to be on top of the unit when it's getting started with moving, okay? And the slowest that it's going to go, it's got a countdown. The slowest it goes is 0.6, which really isn't that fast at all, okay? Yeah, so the belt right now on this center one is a little more off to the right. So we can adjust that and adapt that by using a hex key in order to track the treadmill to the left. So we'll do that here in just a moment. But if you want to get comfortable with getting on, okay, so making contact. So this is very, very slow. This is sloth speed for me. Might be a good speed for most of you, but this is a sloth pace for me. And yes, we're going to have to adjust this belt. So this is a good situation. What you're not seeing, which I'll show you here in just a second, because this gets really tricky if you're not familiar with adjusting and adapting the treadmill. I'll make sure I got the right key here. There we go. So we provide all the right tools so that you don't have to go buy any tools. Okay, so I'm going to take you all back down here to the floor so we can visit together. And you're going to watch me change this in action so that if you need to know how to do this in the future, it's ready for you to go. So if the belt is moving to the right of this red line here, there's a sign here. So if it is moving to the right of this red line, you need to adjust the belt so it centers and tracks back to the right side. This one is not tracking the right direction. So we are going to adjust it. We're going to pause. And there we go. You're going to have to lift the edge. And depending on, takes a lot of strength. There we go. So we're going to might only have to adjust the bottom. Let's try that one and just see if that makes a difference. So I just did a little bit of a rotation to the left. Now, when you go to adjust the belt, I'm going to tell you which page this is going to find. You're going to find this on. You're going to find this on page 19 in the manual. It's going to tell you to take some lubricant and place underneath. We do have the lubricant that comes with. And actually, I just gave you the wrong, I just did that from the wrong angle. So do not do what I just did. That's a no-no. So the adjustment on this one, so we're going to push stop here. I just actually loosened up the rails. This one's a little bit different than some of the others. So we're locked in there. We're locked in here. So if you see these hex points, you're not, yeah, this is how we put it together. Do not loosen that up. You're actually going to go all the way down on the end. Okay. So I'm going to bring you around to the end so you can see this, because I just made a colossal error, and we'll just say I did that on purpose for all of you. Because the actual adjustment for the belt is right here. Okay. This is your adjustment for the belt. And if you have your manual and your remote handy so that you can test it as you are adjusting it. Like I said, when the belt gets past this red line right here, you want to make sure that you're tracking back. So when we assembled this, it was already set up like this. And so if you get yours and you do have to adjust to it, then, we're going to give you the ability to do that. So if the belt is running to the left of the center, which is not the case, you would see the red line over here. Then you would turn to the left, okay? Yes. But because our belt is running on the right side of this line, we're going to start the running belt up, and then we're going to adjust it as we go. So we're starting the belt, and we're going to turn the key here to the right. Okay, and you're going to see it start to track and reposition. It's already starting to reposition itself. Okay, and as we increase the speed, you're going to see that it's going to continue to adjust. So as you're adjusting, just continue to work a little bit more to the right, and you just do a quarter turn at a time. And then over here on the opposite side, over here, you're going to have to work it the other way. Whoops, is that right? Yeah. So as you are getting comfortable with this, we're going to stop. This one takes a little while to stop. There we go. This one does not have an emergency key. So the belt, as you can see, it is really on there. So you're not going to be able to grip and pull it. Okay. All the adjustments are going to take place down here on the end. This one is way off center. So we're going to continue to work this. And if for some reason that the belt is not adjusting, we're going to call customer service and have them send us a new one or talk us through it. But it's going to take about 2 minutes at 2.5 miles per hour for all of this to start working back to center. So again, we're going to adjust the left. If it's tracking to the right, we're going to adjust opposite. So we're going to adjust the left. We're going to rotate it to the right, and we're going to let it run for 2 minutes. If it's not adjusting, then just let us know, and we will customer service will work you through it. So let's run this. Has to have technically 2.5 minutes at a very fast speed. And let's see what happens. And while that's working, I'll go through and show you a different treadmill so that you don't get your eyeballs stuck on the adjustment of that. It's going to take a little bit of time for it to equalize out, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so in the meantime, we are going to work on a different one. A lot of information here to cover, so we're just going to take you over and let you see one of the other walking pads. I tell you what, we haven't covered this one here on the end, so let's cover that. Real quick, I'm going to look up in the manual the incline, decline levels for the Eco Stride that I showed you just a second ago. Those levels are in the manual. I know I've read through it, just didn't write it down for you to make it easier on you. It only takes maybe 10-15 minutes to assemble these from scratch. They come in a very, very big box. You might need to have some help with unloading it. And let's see here. Sorry for the inconvenience that you're having to wait for me. Let's see here. It does not say here on the back the incline differences, but I do know it's in here because I've read through it. If you happen to have any questions, or if there's something that you would like to share about a treadmill that you might already have, or what you are looking for in your treadmill, we would love to hear from you. Okay, here we go. So it actually does not give the degrees of incline one way versus the other. It just says that hole 1 is going to be a very high incline, level 2 is going to be a moderate, and the hole number 3 is going to be a low incline, but it does not actually give a percentage of incline, unfortunately. And this is not correcting this belt, so let's see what we can do here. I might have. Interesting. Oh, there, we're starting to turn back. You just do not want to stick your fingers in the belt while it's running. That's a no-no. I would be silly enough probably to try that, or might have done that in the past. But I'll be honest with you, my friends, this is usually not a challenge to get the belt adjusted. It just, that's just the way it's, unfortunately. Might have to go back through and reassemble that one. Let's go ahead and push underneath it here. And yeah, there we go. Okay, so you do not want to do this while it's running, but if you have the belt a little bit more lubricated, you can adjust it across the bar, but we don't want you to have trouble with it. So if you are having trouble with your treadmill belt lining up, reach out to us and let us know, because the idea of having these is to keep things simple and easy for you, and it should never be this complicated. I might have, there we go. Now we're adjusting. Like I said, you should not have to worry about this though. So we're gonna switch this one out. The main thing is the timber track. Looks more like wood, so it's pretty cool. They all have the same settings. Very easy to mobilize. They have wheels, so you can drag them in, drag them out, move them around, slide another one in, and we're good to go. And again, sorry you're having to wait on me for that. That was not something I had planned on. Sometimes those kind of little surprises happen, and I would say that's probably a good thing when they happen, because now you have an idea of what can happen. But it doesn't happen like that very often. I know this one is already set up and ready to go. I can already see the belt. It's lined up perfectly center. So maybe it was an assembly error on my end. We will go back through and play around with that next time and bring it back to you in another week. Okay, so this one is going. We are good to go. So on this is what your belt should look like when it is running on normal track. And again, you don't see the red line here on either side, okay? No red line. So your belt is very central. This one is very similar to the other one. It has metrics here. This is going to change. And again, very, very simple. So I'm going to kind of show you how to get started on a walking pad if you have a desk, high-low desk at home that you want to work with. We're moving around a lot, so I apologize for moving around on you a little bit, but we got a lot to cover. Okay, so the Flexi Fit, which is this one right here, what makes this one unique is that, again, it's very similar to the other that has the wood, but this one is just very simplistic, basic, very user-friendly. You just got one number on the screen to worry about. We're gonna hit play, and it's got a 5-second countdown, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The belt's gonna start to move, okay? And automatically it's starting at 0.6, okay? 0.6. Max user weight on this one is gonna be 198 pounds. The Flexi Fit actually only weighs 41 pounds. So to actually pick it up with everything you got and move it around, it's 41 and a half pounds. So it's not too heavy to move, but it does have the wheels on it. So it is Bluetooth compatible with FitShow, Kino Map, and Zwift. And the speed range is going to start at 0.6 and it's going to go up to 3.8. As far as the length on this walking board, the full length is 39.37. So let's just say, for simplistic reasons, 39 inches long, 15 and a half inches wide, okay? And again, if you are 200 pounds or over, this one's out because the max capacity for this user is going to be 198 pounds. So we've got the speed on. If you want to start with just standing, straddling the sides, the side rails are not very wide at all. So if you feel comfortable just stepping on and going, that's fine. In the manual, it actually says not to start on top of it. It says to start with your feet on the sides. Me personally, that is kind of setting you up for an ankle sprain, especially if you're in dressier shoes. So I'm going to break the rules, and I'm going to tell you, I'm actually going to break the rules here. From a sports medicine professional and somebody in the strength conditioning field who works ergonomically with those who work in an office setting, just get on the pad, push start, and be ready for the belt to go. It gives you a 5-second countdown. So it'll say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's going to start out at a speed of 0.6. I would rather you get on and do that and start walking and increasing the speed at however you feel comfortable than what the manual actually says, which says to stand on the rails on the side. I'm just going to tell you that half my foot doesn't even fit on those rails, and so you're kind of creating pressure on your joints. So I'm breaking the rules with Life Pro as an expert in sports medicine and telling you not to stand on the side, because part of your foot is going to be on the belt, part of it's going to be on the side, and when you push start, it's going to drag you. Go ahead and get yourself on the pad, okay? You're going to push start. Have your hands on something for balance if you choose to. We're 1 second down and we're taking off. It is a super slow motion. So I would so much rather you do that than you try and standing on the edges, because the edges just are not wide enough for most people. Now, because this is so slow, it's actually hard to get balance, okay? Now, I don't have my walking pad underneath of my desk. So if you're just wanting to use your desk, if you're observing, you're reading, I can't reach my desk right now, not working out very well for me. So let's push stop for a second. Let's adjust the pad, okay? Most of you are going to have trouble bringing the desk to you, so take the pad to the desk. And so again, it's got wheels, so we're going to slide it underneath. That way, when I start, the pad is actually underneath the desk. If I want to step back, I still have room if I need to step away. But as I'm working here, I still have room to move. So if you're taking strides and you're tapping forward onto your walking pad, it needs to be closer underneath. So adjust your walking pad as you need to. So like I said, I wanted to make sure and share with you how to get started with a walking pad safely. And safely, according to the manual, is not what I would recommend, but use your use what works for you, okay? If you have a big foot, get on the pad before you start it. And remember, you got 5 seconds before it takes off. So we're going to push play again. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's going to start moving. And that's much easier, okay? Now, again, it's only going to start at 0.6, which is the lowest level. It goes all the way up to 3.8, which is a very slow pace. for if you're trying to get a little jaunt in. And for walking, I mean, this is right here, pretty fast pace, okay? Pretty fast paced. And if I'm doing this and you get used to that, you know, all the power to you. But I'm going to tell you like 2.5 to 3 is going to be a good pace to get comfortable with. So here's 2.8. I actually could sit here. I'm going to move my desk up a little bit. There we go. So I got my computer here, pretending I got my computer here. I can actually rest my arms here and stay moving and stay walking. I feel safe. Keep your remote handy because you cannot operate the panel from below. You don't have to bend down to adjust it. Keep your remote handy. Guess what? You don't have to look at the control. It senses it through electronics. So if you don't want to be looking down low, it all works right here, okay? You're gonna be able to feel if you're transitioning one way or the other because you're gonna feel the edge like I just did there. You don't wanna get stuck on the edge because the treadmill keeps going, you don't, right? So just get yourself into a stride that feels good to you. Make sure you know, if you have your desk handy and you can put a piece of tape or lines on the edge so you don't try and reach too far aside and you actually step off by accident, that's not good, that's not safe. So just, you know, use caution when you're on it. And again, if you get to the point where you're huffing and puffing and trying to work at the same time, air to the side is slow, air to the side is slow, okay? But the speed range for the FlexiFit, which I'm using right now, is gonna be 0.6 is where it starts when you turn it on, 0.6 to 3.8, okay? And it's gonna cycle through if you're wanting to keep track of speed, calories, time, distance, and steps. The metrics are stored in the control panel underneath. But again, if you have a wearable, you got your Apple Watch on, got a Garmin, got a wearable tracker, a Fitbit, it's gonna, you'll be able to keep track of that as well, okay? Those devices do not synchronize up with the LifePro treadmills, but it will synchronize up through the apps that you can associate with LifePro. Again, max user weight is 198 pounds. The actual treadmill weighs 41.5 pounds. And right now, today, if you go on Amazon, they're $269.99, but there's a coupon on there for $70 that you can clip. That's an Amazon coupon. So you can get this for less than $200 right now if you're watching, okay? So the FlexiFit Plus is that one right there. That belt is also running at 2.6. And the difference is I've got my phone here. Okay, I take my phone, and if I don't want to miss an opportunity for a call, I can just put my phone right there. It's situated right there so that I can keep track of everything. Okay, so you're going to see everything is exactly the same. And again, the same remote works for most all of our devices. I would not recommend turning it on and then getting on after you've turned it on. That's not smart to try that. So make sure that you pause. And it does not have an emergency switch, so it doesn't stop immediately, okay? I'm gonna bring you a little bit closer here so you can see. What apps, whoops, sorry about this, a little shaky. Which apps work with the treadmills? FitShow, Kino, Map, and Zwift, Z-W-I-F-T. I'm gonna show you the pictures for that. So if you got your camera handy and you can QR code that, take a picture of that. Those are the QR codes for those apps to have access to those. So we're getting on the pad, then we're pushing start. You actually have the handrail here that you can hold on to. It can be tightened up with the tools provided. This does fold flat, so if you want the option, we're going at 0.6 right now, and the speed is exactly the same, but the FlexiFit Plus, this one I'm on right now, does not have Bluetooth function. The FlexiFit over here does, but the FlexiFit Plus is not Bluetooth compatible, okay? Both units right now on Amazon today are $269.99, and you can clip an extra $70 off coupon, okay? So if you're just wanting something that doesn't take up a lot of space that you can go for a walk on, get ready for that couch to 5K, can't get outside in nature and walk outdoors, or just wanting to stay in the convenience of your home, this is a great size. It's exactly the same size as the other one, 39.5 inches long by 15, little less than 16 inches wide, speed range of 0.6 to 3.8. Okay, it's got a little iPhone holder, a phone holder of your sort. I have my iPhone, but you can use whatever you want there. And this one weighs in at, this one's actually a little bit heavier at 48 pounds. But that's how simple that works. Max capacity is, again, like right at 200 pounds. So if you're over 200 pounds, the treadmill that you're gonna want are one of the two on the other end, which I'm gonna show you, okay? So there's that. All right. So do we have any other questions that I haven't answered? And then I'm gonna move on to these other new ones. There they are. Okay, so, and again, the timber trek, we're gonna fix this one. There's an assembly problem. It was either an assembly error on my end, or it was assembled like that before we got it. But this is not one of those that's an easy fix in the moment. So we'll fix it, we'll get back to you on it. But I love the timber trek. I love the way it looks, the wood, I love the features. These are not for use with the high-low desk, okay? These are more convenience of staying fit at home without having to leave. Oop, there goes the button. Okay, and like I said, we've already kind of covered the EcoStride. Oh, there we go. Okay, so again, with the EcoStride, you also have hand controls. So if you don't want to control it from here, you actually can control from the hands, from the handrails, okay? So I'm gonna take you on over here closer in action to where you can see all the amazing features of our final model here. Okay, so lots of cool things here. So you can have this up, you can have it down. These little clips fold down, or you can pull them up. So if you're wanting to study, if you are wanting to watch some Netflix or some Hulu or whatever movie you guys are all into, you can do that from the convenience here. We have our safety button. We have our wrist remote, okay? We will, I don't think we've got this one turned on. So breaker switch has to go on. So there we go. And you gotta make sure that the plug is all the way in, okay? So you're gonna see here on top, I know I'm taking you all around. On top here, we just have one little area here for metrics, which is gonna cover time, distance, calories, and speed, okay? So that's how that works. When we're looking here at top, we have multiple different metrics. We've got our program button here. We have our mode, start, stop. We have our metrics here that is showing how it switches between one to the next. Hopefully you can see that with the glare. We have our speed button, plus and minus. And then you have your quick speed. You know, it's hard to see with the glare. Then we have our quick speed. So we're gonna push start, and you're gonna see that there's a countdown. Okay, so the treadmill is starting to move. And from here, we can go program mode. Actually, it's automatically starting in manual mode. And if you push the mode button, it's gonna go through each one of these different metric readings, so it will keep track. Our speed button for manual mode, if you push that speed button, it's gonna take you up to 2. Push it again, it's gonna take it up to 4. Push it on again, and it's gonna take you up to 6. Okay, push it again, it's gonna drop you back down to 2. So that is a great program button for intervals, for speed intervals. If you're wanting to start at just a walking pace of 2 miles an hour, okay, you can push that for just 2. Now you're wanting to get up to a faster pace walk, super fast walk at 4. And then let's say we're gonna pick up a jog. You just push that button one more time, so that's your speed interval button. Okay, and if you, for whatever reason, got an emergency, got to kill the switch, just pull that and it automatically kicks the belt. The belt stops working immediately. In order to start, you got to be able to have contact there. So if you choose to wear the clip, that's up to you. But again, we have this great little feature here. And so you can watch your tablet, and if you need to kill the switch, just yank it and it can still work, okay? So there's that. But again, it has to be in connection in order to restart. Now, on our remote here, I do believe we have, yeah, so I just pushed the power button. So the remote is working and it's starting. We can go increase, push the button and hold the button, and it doesn't, and it does speed up fast. It just takes a few seconds for it to catch up. So you can push it per button, or you can push and hold, and it'll eventually catch up. There you go. Okay, and if we want to go down, push and hold, and it does take a little bit of pressure. Mode button, we're going to experience that when we're going through programming. Okay, so these don't work if the machine has already started. So let's push stop. And so it's going to slow down automatically. And then if we go into the P button, that is our pre-program setting. There's P1. And for each time that you push it, it's going to give you another preset program. And those preset programs are outlined in the user manual based on what kind of a workout you're looking for. But we've got 12 different preset programs. And when you choose a preset program, the mode no longer works. So that is for manual mode option. So we push power on, power off. Now we're going to go to preset mode. And again, if you want manual mode, from the moment you turn on, let's turn this on and off. Hang on here. Okay, so mode button works when you're in manual mode. So if on default, it's already in manual mode, but every time you push that button, that mode button, it's going to point through and it's going to switch to a different metric in order to share kind of whatever it is you're wanting to learn about, okay? You can increase speed in manual mode. You cannot increase speed if you're in a preset program. So let's stop. We're going to go preset mode. Actually has to catch up here. I'm operating too fast for it. So preset button, let's just say P3. You can choose whatever you choose. Push start, and it's automatically going to start. It's going to give you a countdown, and it's going to start automatically at 1.3, and it's going to go through the program. So once you have a preset program, you cannot change the speed at whichever the intervals are working. The speed buttons don't work for preset programming. That's only for your manual mode, okay? So that, in a nutshell, is kind of how the treadmill works. But if you can see from down here, it's very smooth operation. And this one as well folds flat. So it all folds down together so that you can slide it underneath of you know, a bed or in a closet, or you can stand it up against the side. Okay, the speed and the name of that model. So that is our Omnifit Tri-Motion treadmill. I'm going to bring you over here, and I'll kind of go through some stuff here. There we go. Okay, so this is our EcoStride. This one right here is EcoStride. This one right here is our Omnifit. So this one's more for everyday fitness. Speed range for, let's turn it here so you can actually see it. As you can see, it's kind of a beefy size unit. Okay, let me grab my water here, and then I'm going to share with you while I get on it. I'll get on it and actually demonstrate kind of how it works. All right. You can choose to wear the watch, or you don't have to wear the watch. You can work from this. So this is one of those you can also work from it. I'm going to kill the switch here. So if you choose to use this as a study space, you can actually use this as a walking pad with your stuff here. So if you don't want to buy a high-low desk and you want to use this for something outside of fitness, like I said, this all drops down, and you can move this up or down. So this actually lifts off. You just lift there. This actually will lift off, and it folds flat if you choose to just use the pad on its own. So we're going to go into just regular mode. start. It'll start at 0.6 automatically. And the length of this is not very far. So you're going to have to make sure that you're not too tall for this unit. On this one, I got to double check, but I do believe that we're able to adjust this forward. I need to let me look on that. I'm pretty sure that this one's adjustable each direction. So we're going to loosen. Yeah, so you can shift this. I just moved it further away so we can position ourselves here. Okay, so we're walking nice and slow. So if you want it at a different angle, you can position it. There's a little lever down low in which you can position your tray. We're gonna go speed up, so you don't have to use the remote if you don't want to. Speed up button. Okay, so you can use this typing, studying, reading. A little secret about me: when I was in college, I always actually retained more information if I was actually working out at the gym. Stairmaster was my favorite thing back then, and they had just come out with the elliptical trainer. We didn't have the convenience of a treadmill with a ledge. You just had all the controls in front of you, but nowhere to put a book. You'd have to actually use a paper clip back in the day when we used notes. So this is really cool how it's set up, because you can choose to have it more towards you, or you can fold it completely flat in order to store it away. And if you decide that you're wanting to use it for very fast-paced exercise, you can use it for that as well. So it has 4 different height angles that you can use for this. So if you need it to go up, we can actually raise it up if you're a taller individual. I'm a shorty, but super easy to adjust so that you're ergonomically correct. Okay, and then if we drop it back down for those of us that are shorter, I'm 5'4". This is ergonomically correct for me to be able to do my thing. Okay, so this is height adjustable, which is really nice, convenient. The lever, again, we are going to push away from us to loosen it one way or versus the other. And again, this will fold completely flat so that you can do a variety of different things without having to worry about storage. Now, this rail is a little bit wider than the one I showed you earlier, but I still like starting on the treadmill, on the walking pad, instead of starting it and then getting on. I would rather it start to move with me on it. This one today, if you go on Amazon today, again, these are not available on the LifePro website, but if you go to Amazon today, these the one I'm on right now is the Omnifit Tri-Motion treadmill, and it is $439.99 today, and it's got an extra coupon featured with Amazon for $150 off. So when you go to put it in your shopping cart, you're going to click that coupon, you're going to clip it, and then the discount is taken off when you go to checkout. Okay, that is not a specific code for LifePro. That is through an Amazon code. Okay, but again, this is going to track your calories, going to track your distance, workout time. It has the remote in the form of a watch if you want to wear it. You don't have to. All the controls are user-friendly up top here. If you are wanting to use this as a walking pad, as it is featured, it will not go over 3.5 miles per hour with you on it. Okay, so if you're wanting to use it for running, then you have to adjust the angle so that you actually can lengthen out, because it would be very, very hard to run with this in front of me. So that all tucks away. It's pretty neat how it works. This one does have Bluetooth. It does have speakers that you can connect your phone to. So if you're wanting to hear me talking to you, or you're wanting to listen to a lecture, or you're wanting to listen to music while you do your thing, you have the ability to do that. Okay, now I'm moving at a little bit of a faster pace. So this is 3.8 miles per hour if I'm using it as it's built. Okay, and this is a pretty steady pace. Again, 12 different preset programs. We have 3 different types of training modes, and what that means is you're keeping track of speed, distance, calories and time. So you can mode through all of those. Max weight capacity on this one is 220 pounds. The actual treadmill weighs 73 pounds. The full length is 41 inches. The width is wider than the other walking pad at 17 inches. All right, and if you're ready to kill the switch fast, just pull the brake, and it's just like that, boom, right? So if you pull the cord and you're on it, there's no slowing you down. You're only as fast as your braking system. So expect it to come to a complete stop, even though you're going, just like I just demonstrated there. So use your down button or your stop button, but if you pull the cord, it's killing the switch on you. That was a good moment. Okay, so there's our Omnifit. The EcoStride, as I showed you earlier, it is, again, it has a difference in incline, 3 different levels of incline that are manually adjusted down at the bottom. All of our treadmills and walking pads have adjustability of the belt. The EcoStride today, $359.99. If you go on Amazon, there is a $100 coupon, clip it, and it is there for you as a discount. You'll show in the in your shopping cart at the end. That is not a Life Pro coupon. That is specific to Amazon. Again, this one has a max capacity of 242 pounds. So this one right here, the EcoStride, is our bulky, it is our heavier duty treadmill. So if you're wanting to do treadmill work at home and you're needing one with a higher capacity, this one has a capacity of 242 pounds. It weighs 67.5 pounds, and it has a surface, a running surface of 40 inches in length, and it's one of our wider treadmills. So if you are wanting to start on this one, it actually has traction pads, so you can actually stand on the edges in order to be able to take off. But on the actual walking pads with the Timber Trek and the FlexiFit and the FlexiFit Plus, those are really hard to just start standing sideways on the side rails. So let's plan on starting in the middle. You're going to push the play. It's going to give you a 5-second countdown before it takes off. And I'm just having a conversation with you. I'm not even watching, but I'm going to start to feel it take off here in just a second. Well, should. There we go. And it's taking off. So you're going to feel it take off, and it starts automatically at 0.6. So remote is going to take you up to the next level as you choose to without having to bend over and reach for it. Just make sure as you are on whatever walking pad you choose, whether it's a Life Pro pad or not, make sure that you know where you're at in proportion to your desk. Because if you are trying to work over here or trying to work over here and you don't realize where you're at between the walking pad and the desk, kind of a small accident waiting to happen. So just be aware of your surroundings. And if you have to create some kind of a boundary using some tape, so that, like a color coding, so you can keep track of where you're at while you're on it, that might not be a bad idea for some of you. But the one I'm on right now is the FlexiFit. FlexiFit, 198 pounds, max user. It is 15.5 inches wide by almost 40 inches long. Not quite, it's more 39 inches. All of these units work Bluetooth except for the FlexiFit Plus. It is the only one that does not use Bluetooth. The Timber Trek pad, which I showed you at the very beginning, that looks like wood edges. That's the one I had trouble with adjusting the belt because I probably assembled it wrong to begin with. Let me tell you what, it takes a lot of time to assemble 5 treadmills. It's a good problem to have, right? But the Timber Trek right now, $339 on Amazon. Use the $100 coupon code that you can clip. Again, that may or may not be there when you go to checkout. It is it's more independent to Amazon. It is not a Life Pro feature as far as a discount code goes. They can just pop up there whenever they want. And usually when they have sold enough or they've met a quota for the day, the coupon code kind of disappears. So I wouldn't hesitate if you're thinking about getting one. I wouldn't hesitate too long because those codes can change pretty quickly, okay? So On the very end down here, we have the OmniFit TriMotion. This one right next to me is the EcoStride. The one I'm on right now is the FlexiFit. The one to my right is the FlexiFit Plus. And the one that you can't see, which looks like wood rails, is the Timber Trek. And it's on the very end. The 3 walking pads, almost identical in length and width. The primary difference is controls and a little added feature as to whether you want it to look a certain way. So we're going to push stop. And it's slowly coming to a stop. And yes, so the EcoStride is really good for using for rehab purposes when you're at home. Very, very good call. The EcoStride and the OmniFit. If you're wanting my personal opinion, I'm going to tell you the main difference. If you're wanting, let me pull something up here. I'll show you something here with the OmniFit. It is going to show you the preset programming. Hang on here, and I will show that to you. The preset programs are going to be listed on page 29, okay? So if you're one of those who needs to know the very specifics about the speed for each one, there is going to be the features of how the programs are set up based on speed, high-low training. The other one actually has the preset programs on the top, so that it almost looks like a bar graph, so you can get an idea of what they actually are trying to represent. In the manual, the EcoStride, when it comes to the preset programs, I actually don't remember if they have, yeah. So if you're one of those who needs to know exactly what speed you're working at, you're going to want to have the EcoStride versus, I'm sorry, you're going to want to have the OmniFit TriMotion, because it actually has the speed for each level, for each preset program. And I know there's a lot of you that love the whole body vibration platforms, but you want to know exactly what level you're at and kind of like the highs and the lows. This one just has the bubble graphs that is featured and how it looks on the actual treadmill. It doesn't actually tell you which speed you're at. However, when it goes through and switches through, it will provide that information. But if you're one who is down to statistics and data, you're going to be able to plan your workouts more according with the EcoStride, because it actually has, it has the exact speed for the exact minute for each program. So that's for that. When it comes to, let me turn so you can see this. The EcoStride here, it has the tray here. The tray actually comes off. There's a little feature here underneath that you can actually remove this tray and you actually use it for a speed training like device. But again, it does have high, low. It does have the ability for everything. Let me see here. Yeah, let me double check something, because I know that this comes off really easy. It talks about that. That's one of its main features. Lots of manuals here. Oops, that's the wrong one. The OmniFit is, so the way that this one's built, you can see there's all different ways in which it can be changed in assembly in order for it to work. Lots of adjustability. So whether you want the tray towards you, away from you, you have a lot of options. If you're wanting to remove the media tray, it gives you directions there on how to use the treadmill without the media tray, so that you can truly use it to stride out for distance. And it is it's really easy to do that. You just, let's see. I don't even think you have to, I should have gone through this before I started here with all of you guys. Bingo, figured it out. So for somebody who has not done that, that's how easy the media tray comes off. Ta-da! And then now you have little mini handrails. You can height adjust this, and then when you're ready for this to go back on, it just clips on there. There's a little red handle underneath that you just grip that, and this comes off. All right. So, questions. What is the best walking pad if you are taller than 5'4"? The question is, so Melissa, with that, are you wanting only exclusively for the walking pad, or are you wanting the added benefits of being able to use it for other features as well? Mary Williams, the Timber Trek is the one on the very end over there. It looks exactly the same as the FlexiFit, but it has wood rails. Okay, it just looks more earthy if you're into earthy, but it has the same speed setting. It has pretty much the same distance, length, and width. So yeah, so there's kind of a preview of all the different ones. If you're wanting to do more of a workout, gym-based workout, you're going to use one of these two. There we go. You're going to use one of these two because they have added preset program features. The EcoStride here is more of a beefy setup. I'm going to call it beefy. It is going to be more for those who have a more intensity. So if you are wanting something for heavier weight capacity, if you're wanting more goal-oriented modes, this one has different training modes that you can kind of set your own goals with. It has speed controls on the handles here. It's got the preset programs that are laid out for you, which is really convenient. If you're wanting to use one specifically for studying, learning, multitasking at work, that's what our OmniFit Tri-Motion is well equipped to do. It also has a wider base, has a longer length. It has a lot of adjustability, height, and for higher tray and for the basics. And it does have a higher weight capacity. The walking pads here, so the one underneath here and the other two down at the other end here that I have. Okay, those are, so the three that you see in the screen right now, those are the three walking pads as you see them. Those are 200 pounds or less, and the max speed on those is 3.8. Whereas if we're looking at the other side of the room with the heavier duty treadmills on the end, those have a higher speed capacity going over 6, and they're going to have the OmniFit, which is this one right here on the end. It goes all the way. It has the highest speed throttle going up to 7.5 miles an hour. That is crazy fast. So if you're wanting to do speed interval training and you're wanting to actually get better at running, and you're wanting to do some things, multitasking, work, school, I think the one on the very end, the OmniFit Tri-Motion is pretty neat. I've not seen one built like that. And like I said, it's got a weight capacity over 200 pounds, 240 pounds for the EcoStride, and it does have a little bitty ledge here for your phone, but it does not have like the media tray set up so that you can actually do some things with it, with your iPad or your computer. Okay, so if you're looking for the walking feature with the actual walking pads, those are the three that are featured right here. I'm just going to tell you with this one right here, this is the FlexiFit Plus. This little piece right here does not fold down. You actually have to remove it with a screwdriver. This folds flat. So if you don't want the handle up, you can still use this as it is. So if you're wanting to use it with the handlebar, then you're going to want the FlexiFit Plus. If you don't need a handlebar, then you can choose the Timber Trek or the FlexiFit. And the Timber Trek and the FlexiFit essentially are pretty darn close to identical. The only primary difference is the Timber Trek looks more like wood. It's got more metrics displayed on the control panel, which if you're using it underneath of a desk, you're not going to see them anyways. Max load, again, is the same. Speed duration is the same. And the size of it is all the same. If you're wanting to use with Bluetooth, this one is not an option. If you're looking at walking pads, this does not, the FlexiFit Plus does not have a Bluetooth feature on it. The FlexiFit and the Timber Trek do. So I hope that answers that question. And again, if you're wanting a walking pad and you're wanting adjustability, the Omnifit Trimotion treadmill, which is on the end, it actually folds down so that you can use it as a walking pad. So if you're wanting something for walking and for fitness related purposes, the Omnifit Trimotion treadmill is like what seals the deal. This one right here, the Eco Stride, does not fold down so that you can use it while it's in motion. So this is going to be more fitness wellness related. And then the other 4 can be converted or used exclusively as a walking pad with a high-low desk. Okay, so I hope that answers that question. I'm sure you're curious how the Eco, or not the Eco, but the Omnifit, the Trimotion, how that can be used under the desk. Let me show you how fast this happens. So this can come off. Let's try this. I've not actually tried this yet. So you're about to witness something in live person. So there's that. These fold down. So we loosen this up to the side. This drops all the way down. And handrails go down. We lock that back down. And let's see if we can make this work as a walking pad by itself. It will work with the desk. And you're seeing this is either going to be a major blooper or it's going to work. We will see. Here's what you don't want though, okay? Here's what you don't want. You have your emergency button here. And so this is off now, okay? These rails fold down, okay? And you have to remember that if you're not using these rails and you walk off the edge, you can't walk off the edge because it has folded flat. Let's see. Yeah, so you can use this exactly as you see it here as a walking pad. So I can slide this underneath my desk, and I'm using the remote here to increase, but it will not go any faster than 3.8 as you see it right here. So if I slide it underneath of my desk, okay, so I'm using it as a walking pad right here as it is. So I'm telling you what, bang for the buck, all features inclusive, portability, how easy it folds, features, being able to use it with the media tray. This is Amber's new favorite, the Omnifit Trimotion treadmill. If I were going to buy one of these 5, the one I'm on right now, because of how user-friendly it is, has 12 preset programs, 3 training program modes that you can create goals for yourself, has speakers built into it. It will not go any faster than 3.5 miles as it is right now, but once I set it up and take the media tray off or leave the tray on, we're talking 7.5 miles an hour, so that's just as fast as a commercial treadmill at your local fitness center. Max capacity, 220 pounds. And right now, you can get it on Amazon for $439 with a $150 coupon. So if you go in there and add it to your cart, there will be a coupon there for $150 off that you can clip it. So it's going to be like a little over $200. So bargain of the day. But again, that's only going to be as long as Amazon wants to include that coupon. So that is not a Life Pro coupon, and you can only get these on Amazon. We don't carry them through the Life Pro website. So there's a little bit about that. Now, to stop, you're going to push the button, and there you go. And then if we want to set it back up, we're going to loosen, elevate this bad boy, tighten her down, swing these out. Now you have to have the emergency key or it won't work. The emergency key is in place. And if you decide that you don't want the tray on there, I would stick a piece of Velcro on that. I'm kind of particular about having lots of stuff hanging around. So I would stick a piece of Velcro on that or wrap it around because I don't like to wear these things. And then we're on here. We're going to push start. And it's going to do a little countdown, 3 seconds down. Now we're moving. I'm going to push the speed button. It's going to go directly on up to 2. You can go up to 4. And then, so now I'm walking pretty fast. So 4 miles an hour. This one has a speed up button for quick push for another 6. Okay. And if you want to hold on, it's got little handles here that you can hold on to. Or, like I said, if you're wanting to use it as a study pad, this just clips on like such. It is height adjustable, so we can go up higher if we want to, high and low. I'm going to push the speed down button so that we're at 2 miles an hour. There we go. And there we have it. Remote works. When this top panel is working, the control down at the bottom does not. When this is folded down, the one at the bottom works because you no longer use the security key, okay? And there's our stop feature, comes to a slow stop instead of an abrupt stop. So that's Amber's favorite right there, if anybody's curious. Okay, is the cushioning fairly good? Yeah, actually it is. I'm not one who enjoys treadmills much. I'd rather go outside and play. But yeah, it's got some good cush to it. I think a lot of something to remember when it comes to selecting your treadmill for yourself, a lot of that comes down to footwear as well. So it is only, you don't want too much bounce or cushion in a treadmill because your neurosensory is off. The more solid it is, I think the better. So if you don't feel like it has enough cushioning, look into some different shoes for yourself. Shoes are everything. So, and you know, if you're wanting to use this for work, the way that these are built, you can wear everyday work shoes. I'm not talking about like heels, obviously, but if you have, you know, a pair of shoes that are, you know, some Oxfords or whatever it is that you wear, you don't have to wear athletic shoes in order to use these for comfort. So the cushioning is decent for non-commercial treadmill, but when you're looking at a commercial treadmill, let's talk about that. The most expensive treadmill out here in this room right now is this one right here, $439.99 with $150 extra off. And so when you're looking at all the options for treadmills and how much a treadmill actually costs in a commercial setting, you're talking for a Life Fitness treadmill at a fitness facility, you're talking in the ballpark range of like $4,000 to $7,000. So thousands of dollars. These are all less than 500, and many of them are less than 200 with the special coupon. So you're getting something different than a cushiony treadmill that you're used to with wide rails and all the bells and whistles at the gym, but you're not paying $7,000 for it, and you're not paying the annual membership, and you're getting a clean unit at home with a lifetime warranty, because that's how awesome Life Pro is, lifetime. So I hope that answers some of your questions. These are not, you can't compare the cushioning on these based on residential versus commercial if you're used to using a commercial treadmill, but I will tell you that they do have good traction control. I'm, you know, being a professional in the industry for 20 years, the belts are very nice traction on them. They have a lot of texture to them. The EcoStride here actually has little strips, non-slip strips on the edges, and yeah, they're super lightweight to move around and easy to work with. So I hope that helps you all today. Well, we've been chatting about treadmills for an hour and a half now, so I'm going to let you all go and enjoy your afternoon. So the last question that just popped up is weight capacity. The heaviest weight capacity for any one of these 5 is 242 pounds, and it is going to be this one right here that I'm pointing to. The one on the very end is capacity 220 pounds, and these 3 over here behind me are less than 200, so 198 to 200 pounds. So yeah, so and I was reading in the manual the other day because I get to read all the manuals in order to understand how they all work. And I was reading one of the manuals said that so many people are using the walking pads from a seating position. I can't imagine that. That just doesn't seem very natural to me. That's what the vibration platforms would be beneficial for. So if you're trying to do this sitting down, you're going to have some challenges with getting caught in your knees, your meniscus, your hips. So make sure that you're using your walking pads from a standing position. And if you are needing some kind of stimulation in your legs from a seated position using a high-low desk, then let's make sure that you're using a vibration platform for that, because the vibration creates the activation up to 90% of your muscles to fire from that seated position without you having to keep track of and being safe. And you don't have to have a big one. One of my favorites is the Waver Mini. The Turbo is another easy one to use underneath your desk if you're not wanting something heavy. But if you're wanting to do some of this stuff from a seated position, the vibration platforms, in my professional opinion, are best suited for that. If you're wanting to stay up and staying nice and long and loose and keeping blood flow and staying feeling great, then the walking pads, we've got a lot of options. So I hope you found this useful today for you. And glad to see so many of you here joining in. I always look forward to seeing you guys on these lives. Some of you have been with us for several years. Some of you are just joining us. If you are curious about some of our other products, curious about how our products are changing lives and creating miracles every day from the convenience of home, or if you need a little bit of Amber in your den telling you how to do certain things with the products we have, head over to YouTube to our Life Pro channel and subscribe. It is free videos. Well over 300 videos that we have done between Debbie and Rosanna and I in our expert panel over the last 4 or 5 years. Been with the company for a very long time, and the company just gets better and better with more innovative products. And again, customer service is one of our high notes. So if you're struggling with customer service, then reach out to one of us, and we'll get it up the line because we want to make sure that you're happy with your product. The worst thing you can do, and it happens all the time. I hear about this all the time when I'm talking to some of our customers one-on-one. The worst thing you can do, my friends, is buy a product and not take it out of the box. So we want to make sure, like I said, I was working with the timber truck. I don't know if it was an assembly issue on my end, but if you're having trouble with one of our products, let us know. And if we need to send you another one and trade out with you, then we want to make sure that you're able to get it out of the box and actually put it to use. If you're having headaches and you're racking your brain trying to figure out how to use our products because it's not user friendly for you, then reach out to us because that's what we're here for. And we are here as a free service in our YouTube videos in order to educate you with expert background and studies. We use a lot of clinical data in order to come up with the parameters and the programs that we offer. So, and if you are not already part of one of our Life Pro Facebook groups, we have the Life Pro VIP group. If you're not already part of that group, you need to join. And the criteria to join is just owning one of our products or being gifted one of our products. You will learn so much from so many people in that Facebook group about how miracles are happening every day with many of our products and how people are using their own strategies and just trial and error to figure things out and how it's working for others. And if you are looking for information in our VIP group, there's a search bar, little search icon at the very top of the page. Just type in hip pain or foot pain or knee or we've done so many. I personally have done over 300 videos that we have gone through and actually combed through. So there are so many videos on in that VIP group and on Facebook, on YouTube that are free, and the information is there. You just have to push start, and you have to take the product out of the box, and we will help you do that if we need to. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Talk to you again soon, and enjoy life because you never know. It's always short or it can be long, but enjoy your day. Like find gratitude today because my gratitude is getting to share this time with you and seeing all of you bounce up here. So love you all, and I hope you have a great weekend.